a bit Tvghana person like na comment no shaman outside yeah be hwena Sammy Awuku eko PM Express with Evans Mensah Joynews. Now you see Joynews for person on me ade because we ain't on me and this for right. On me ade no set some commotion be the top MPP concerning recently Japan about issues be as a poppy up as or more a cheetah for no way bash we kind of this. Meanwhile, there are a lot of issues current government attending to a moving the annoying Abame and discussion MPP for the target because of more NDC for you get it or more tarnish MPP meeting. Or because there is this kind of Banta be internal elections, about MPP, and they are so much interested in it, than the whole nation, no issues. So as at the moment, a teacher for a Ministry of Education, yet among your minds of account once in the MPP for once a numbers on Makana, we know some Awuku and yet as some quota on it. This particular advancements and that guy we know. Okay. So me Awuku the man left right center or bash and some quota. This guy, one of journalists or the who are we end this in your bashipa and go 5 young corners anyway. Go find share down for attacks on corners of back up and say advancements away. So me Awuku and find one gen. I'm for you could live on TV.
Party executive before at a very, very senior level in the party. You should understand this. Is what you'd have done if you were there.
Well, good evening, Evans, and good evening to your cherished viewers. I'm not too sure I really understood the topic for today when you said MPP Flagbearer contest the parliamentary battle lines. I'm not too sure what you mean by parliamentary battle lines. Because myself and my brother here, we still remain members of parliament together with our other colleagues in the same party. And I wouldn't dwell much on the statement issued by the party because they are tasked with managing the party, its internal democracy and the structures and the rules and regulations. The only thing I'll just add on briefly is that I side with Dr. Tvghana that let's also give these aspirants enough time. That notwithstanding, it doesn't mean that it should be something that is not regulated. It should be, but clearly we need to give them some time to engage the delegate. But Evans, I think it's most unfair, this your topic at this time, and permit me to also register it on your platform. In all fairness, because we're a Democrat. At a time that you have many Ghanaians with this government under the cover of goodwill, they have increased our tariffs, electricity, by over 14%. But this government increasing our tariff when it comes to water. Today, a bag of cement, which was 83 cedis end of December, is now selling in excess of 130 cedis. The Galamsey menace, we are now facing it head on. Over 30,000 young people have had their appointments terminated. And we want to spend the whole time to discuss MPP presidential primaries, which is like 6-7 months away. That's unfair. Unless you're not feeling the pain.
I smile.
No, not that
I smile because
I want to register that we believe that NPP is not taking the taxes of Ghanaians. Those taking the taxes of the Ghanaian people are those in government. And it's important that the media, also being the fourth estate of the realm, must hold this government accountable.
Well, I smile because
which is not being
I smile because I smile because the man you support in Dr. Bawumia met MMDCEs who held a press conference who said they support him. In fact, they told us that they had met another aspirant, and the aspirant lied to us. They didn't back him.
No problem.
I'm coming.
No, I'm listening to you.
He was campaigning, forcing your party to issue a statement that those meetings you can't hold. The man sitting beside you, he was with his candidate in Ashanti reading, meeting Tescom and others. You started the campaign. You are on the show saying it's too early, but you are campaigning. Your man is campaigning. You are supporting him.
First of all,
you have started the campaign.
Before you come in, let me address Evans' concerns. The people you have mentioned, Dr. Bawumia, the Honorable Kennedy Ejapon, the Honorable Dr. Brian Echampon, are not recipients of the people's taxes. In fact, as we speak today, the government we have voted for, that the people elected in office have terminated in excess of 30,000 young people's appointment. And you are not privy to that. When has that been a topic for PMS for us to discuss?
Why is that not?
Yes.
Your candidate rejected.
No. Because all these candidates are speaking about it, but that never crosses you.
Why was that?
Because Joy FM multimedia don't find it topical.
Why was
none of your colleagues have lost a job.
Why was that not Bawomia's focus?
In fact,
in the last 48 hours,
Dr. Bamia has spoken about it. Honorable Kennedy has spoken about it. Brian and all the team, look, they are standing in the gap for these young people, but those who are supposed to also checkmate the system, the fourth estate of the realm, it's not a slogan. You are supposed to hold government accountable for its actions and inactions. 30,000 cleansing? My goodness. And you find that to be comfortable for us to discuss?
Do you accept the tag?
Have you been affected by any of these?
Do you accept the tag of being a government in waiting?
Oh, of course we do.
If you're a government
minority, we are making the case on the floor.
If you are a government in waiting,
yes.
I am not a government in waiting. I'm a journalist. You are a government in waiting.
What's the role of the media?
And yet, your man who was on your ticket, instead of doing the things you say we should do,
he has spoken about.
He is campaigning.
Thank you, Todd. They have spoken about.
Is he campaigning or not?
For political parties and its internal campaigns, it's not going to stop. It's a cycle.
Is he campaigning?
I'm saying it's a cycle
or not?
But then, for a flagship program that we have today, I believe that we should be holding this government accountable.
Well, is he campaigning or not?
I'm saying that, look, even police station executives are campaigning, so that is neither here nor there.
So the party,
the government has been elected.
You, the party,
let us hold this government's leg to the fire.
That's
the critical question.
That is your job.
Yes,
not my job.
That is what we expect the media to amplifying the voice of the Ghanaians.
You say yes to that.
30,000 people sacked from the public sector.
You say
and
yes.
It's not a worry.
You say
it doesn't
yes.
raise a whisker this bigger
you say
yes
to the fact that it is your job.
Yes.
And yet you are distracted
how
by holding meetings with a man who wants to be president.
Conferences on it. The party, the minority, these what do you call presidential aspirants, because they haven't open nominations.
Yeah.
So you've asked us to come discuss even people who have not even picked nominations.
If that's you've decided to do.
What they are doing is what we call, they are testing the waters and knocking on doors.
But
they haven't opened, they cannot tell me today that you've had Dr. Tvghana and Sammy Awuku or Haruna picking nomination. None. So what are we to discuss? Well, in fact, all we are talking about, it may end up when nominations are open, it may even end up that some people will not pick.
So am I going to see you are in Parliament? Are you in Parliament?
But that is not.
It's not in doubt.
It's not in doubt.
Have you I'm coming to a question.
Yes.
In the last 48 hours,
yes.
Have you stood on the floor of Parliament to raise any of those substantive matters that you so feel passionate about?
Yes.
That you want the media to do?
Even today. The minority spoke about over 100 young people
on behalf
of Ghana who have been sacked.
No, I'm talking about you, Sammy Awuku. On behalf of the people you represent,
yes.
Have you stood on the floor and asked a fundamental question on their behalf, on the matters you want the media to champion on your behalf?
First of all,
no, you have to answer the question.
So let me answer. Parliament, with the greatest of respect, when you have your colleague raising the same matter, it presupposes that matter has been raised on the floor of Parliament.
And it represents
the view
of the
caucus. Yeah. So that is how it works.
I'm asking a question.
I have granted interviews to that effect.
I'm talking about your parliamentary responsibility. You raise a host of issues. And I'm saying on the host of issues you raised, as a member of Parliament, that you voted to go to Parliament. Which one?
I have.
Which one?
In fact, even when we were even discussing the budget and the consideration of the budget.
That was the budget.
But that time the people were being sacked.
A lot has happened.
I'm telling you that, Evans, if this cannot take our conscience as a nation to defend this young people, their right to work.
I have let me finish Sammy's logic for a second.
I find it.
I'll come to add. I need to ask Sammy one more question.
Yes.
Because you see, you say media, but I'm saying to you, we voted for you. We've given you power.
You didn't. You
no, you. I'm talking about you.
Yeah.
You as an individual, because you raised the matter.
Yeah.
The government was elected, but you also elected.
Yes, I was.
To Parliament.
Yes.
And we give you all the power to do on our behalf.
That's right.
The things that you're asking the media to do. And I'm saying things that happen. You, Sammy, Awuku, that power I gave you.
Have spoken
what have you done on the floor?
What I'm saying is that
I'm not speaking about
the minority.
If you felt so passionate about the things you want me to do,
have raised these
you should leave.
On the floor of Parliament by leadership, by members. We've had press conferences on it.
Yeah.
All we are asking for is that, for God's sake, let us also be on the side of these young Ghanaians who are being punished on the altar of political.
And you're addressing this too.
And that is what I'm saying.
You're addressing
and
this
I'm addressing it through the medium.
Okay.
And I'm using this medium to communicate with the government and the people.
Take your own advice. I want to see you being more vociferous on the floor.
We have been vociferous.
No, you. That's because I
have raised it a couple of times.
I can bring
I have been in Parliament on 2 occasions, and when the people were being sacked, Honorable Samuel Awuku raised a question. It was
but Samuel Awuku is here. Why?
Yes, no, but I am because there are several
I'm asking you are a spokesperson for Samuel
Evans, do you have
I'm part and parcel of it.
Because
I have gone to Parliament
together for us to come to ourselves. So let us also discuss issues that affect the nation.
I'm just following. I'm not following the logical sequence of the arguments you're making. That if really your argument is that we should be talking about the government and what they're doing, then I want to see Sammy Awuku doing far more, because he's a member of Parliament.
It was a topical issue, and my friend Honorable Nuruddin for Nalega Gambago, was going to file a question on that. When the question was sent, Honorable Samuel Awuku had already filed a question on that. On the floor of Parliament, he read that particular question on the floor of Parliament relating to the dismissal of these people. So if he's raising it, I think that is very legit.
I'm very surprised.
And again,
you are elected to be spokesperson.
Let me at least amplify the voice of the minority, the many Ghanaians who
and just by the way, I'll come back to the issues that we take. And I'll come to you. You know you have more time. I'll come to you. But just by the way, Sammy Awuku knows that as for this medium, all we talk about is the national issues. But you have made it. You put this out there for us to talk about yourself. You issue a statement. We talk about it. I'm coming. The media is. I have 3 days in a week. When you issue a statement, I'll talk about it. When his candidate decides to campaign, I'll talk about it. When his candidate decides to campaign, I'll talk about it.
Because you asked me a question on our statement. That is why I proceeded to answer. However, I was going to raise a preliminary issues with the caption that has been put before.
No, he's raised it already. Yeah, so, let me hear sticker. Let me hear
sticker. You don't want repetition.
No, but it's raised. No, you don't want repetition. Of course.
But on the floor of Parliament, you want 20 people to be.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah, but let me hear sticker. Sticker, you wanted to make an intervention.
Evans, honestly speaking, the only way this country can be built is when relevant stakeholders begin to appreciate the fact that it is time we put an end to a whole lot of omissions and commissions, actions and inactions and behaviors and mispriorities that have been very dysfunctional over the years. I am very surprised that what Sammy is saying, you're not really taking it to the point that you realize that, I think probably if multimedia, which seems to be number one in Ghana here.
No, we are number one.
In terms of course, I'm choosing my words carefully. I know you are, definitely, particularly you. We all want Ghana to be where we want it to be. That is why we are sitting here tonight. And our constitutional mandate is being undermined as a country. Fundamental human rights are being undermined as a country. The Labor Law Act 2003, Act 651, and if you read Chapter 5 of our 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, where in terms of, Ghanaians, citizens as individuals and groups enjoying their rights have been undermined to the extent that I can tell you that there's a gentleman in my constituency having a very fresh baby as a second born. If I had not talked to these gentlemen very well, the guy was going to commit suicide. He's been sacked unlawfully. There's somebody who has worked for 18 years. He's been sacked. Bank of Ghana. Can you imagine? Over 100 of them. Evans, put all jokes aside. This is a serious issue. If there should be any reason, there should be, is it state of emergency or whatever, I think this is the time. That Ghanaians, whose parents, some of them, had to borrow money to pay their school fees through tertiary institutions, through no fault of theirs. The laws of Ghana now are not being respected.
No, so I hear you.
So what he's saying is, I'm coming. Let me.
I hear you, but I have to probe.
I know, but I'm coming. What we are trying to say is that we are not by any means saying that your questions and issues you are raising are not important. But what we are saying is that in terms of priority, in terms of, in fact, we are even, we've had 6 months of this new government. There should be a review.
Because you've raised a very legitimate point, but it circles back to the reason why I invited you to the conversation. Let me ask you that. So you know all that.
Ask me.
Yes, I'm asking you that. You know all what you're saying is very important. And in the last few days, you've been very active on the ground with Kennedy Japan, campaigning. Have you not?
Where?
I've seen, yes, have you not been with Kennedy Japan?
No, if it's a campaign, we are not actually campaigning. We're invited.
To?
I mean, students.
To do what?
Speak on entrepreneurship.
To speak on entrepreneurship?
Check.
Because he has no presidential ambition.
Oh, Evans, where are you taking it to?
No, it's a question.
Evans, the issues we are raising, are they important?
No, I'm asking a question.
I'm asking, are they important?
No, you see, thankfully,
Evans, I
ask the questions.
But it doesn't mean you can also bully us.
No,
because no, you should allow.
I'm not bullying.
Can I ask you one question?
But no, you can't.
When have you done the review of this government?
So no, I asked you a question.
No, when have you done the review? 6 months down the line.
Dr. Stephen Amwa.
6 months.
Dr. Stephen Amwa.
Even not a person has been sent to the road
fund.
So
you know that.
You don't know what is happening.
You know that.
First up, we've been talking about it, but you guys are not interested.
I'm asking a fundamental
question.
No,
you are not interested.
Why?
You are not interested.
In the last few days, you've been very, very active with Kennedy Japan on the ground. Are you running away from the fact that you support him?
Where is he going?
You do, right? You support the man.
This is a truism.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody knows.
So, but I'm asking a question about what you've been doing on the ground with him, and you don't want to answer that question.
I told you we spoke on entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Tell me you didn't hear.
You spoke on entrepreneurship.
Probably there's an issue with your management.
Yeah, you spoke on entrepreneurship.
Yes.
And you say that wasn't because you support his ambition to be president.
It's not because I support.
Yeah. You went to that meeting.
No, we're invited to speak. Let me get this clear. To speak on entrepreneurship. So if you go to somebody's institution and the person asks you, speak on this, you cannot go and change.
So this was a test call, I believe.
Don't divert it. What we are saying
was it test call?
Critically, we are supposed to speak on these serious national issues.
No, but you can't run away from something.
No, the constitution of the land. Don't try to be smart. No, stop that.
I'll come to something.
I mean, the constitution of the land.
So
we should be law abiding.
Yes.
The government of the day was voted for because of our democracy, because of our constitution, because of our laws. The very constitution that has conferred on them the power they have. They are abusing it. They are not actually allowing Ghanaians to enjoy the equitability that we need. That right of an ordinary Ghanaian.
So you're talking about
also
this
not be
current government
based on special group and other things.
You're talking about this. You're talking about
and
this.
I think I'm surprised. You know that what we are talking about is very important.
You're talking about
Are you aware that Ghanaians have been sacked? Are you aware that Ghanaians have been sacked? Are you aware of that?
We are talking about this.
Are you aware that even just a few days ago, over 100 Ghanaians, young ones, through no fault of theirs.
Question to you.
Please.
So you know.
Now, I'm not as guest. I'm not your host. I'm not say program now. The reason is agenda. I'm set to say I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be going this. I'm going to hold back because I'm NDC channel. That's the point. I'm NDC journalist for. Until do be piano. I'm going this hold back. 6 months into government, unya she come to me review a buy no to me review she Joynews for to me come bia ba and this movie all they know is MPP internal what they cause no na your interest like seriously primaries are umunya for nomination forms book and no na we interested in and you think you better come and say him so the one we see the amount we can this ya boboba I'm fight Tvghana comment or conversation